Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from whichever part of the world you are. I'm Mrs. Sandra Almeida, Associate Professor at Degree College, and I'm proud sharEvery, as well as Associate Director of sharEvery Global Foundation. I welcome you all wholeheartedly for today's session number 529. This is an advanced meeting of 1 hour, and I'm really happy that today we have a guest speaker, Coach BINA YADAV, and she will be speaking on the topic Mindful Minds. There is a saying, our mind is like a garden, and if we do not cultivate it, it will grow weeds. Now, I would like to call upon the prime mover for today, that is Coach Gajendra Chadal sir. He is very modest, honest, and simple human being, at a person with great knowledge. Let us call him to invite the guest speaker for today. Bring your hands together to invite Coach Jadal sir.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whichever the part you are from. A very warm and heartily welcome to each one of you all here to this beautiful evening. It's my honor and privilege, such a great opportunity to introduce today's versatile personality and multi-talented personality with us. She is eloquent speaker, a great trainer, a motivational speaker, and excellent keynote speaker as well. If we talk about her professional career, so she is an ICE CCE certified coach, clinical hypnotherapist author, IATD certified trainer and coach. She is also NLP practitioner design thinker and practitioner visual thinker as well. An enriching experiences of 30 years as a parent and 20 plus years as a corporate professional, the role she played in her career involved the numerous interaction with the clients to understand their needs and concerns. Beena Yadav ma'am, a mother of two beautiful children and wife of a super supportive husband. Her daughter is 20 years old and the son is 6 year old. Now transformed into teen and parenting coach. Today, she came up with very important topic and I'm sure that we will get tremendous knowledge from this session. So give big applause for her. Welcome ma'am to this beautiful session.
Thank you very much for sharEvery platform. Thank you, Ram Babuji, and everybody present here for giving me this opportunity. The topic for today is mental well-being for educators, mindfulness, self-care. There are a lot of words which come into our minds when we talk about mental well-being or mental health. There is a difference between mental health and mental well-being. So when we talk about, for I'll give you an analogy of like you go to a gym, right? We go to a gym to maintain our fitness. There's nothing wrong with us, but we still go to the gym. So that's exactly the same like having mental well-being. When we have some sickness, when we have some need, when we go to a professional, to a doctor, maybe take some medications or some physiotherapy, that is the time when we call it mental health. We're going to be talking about enhancing mental well-being. We all are in a state of mind every day, like morning, afternoon, evening, and night. There is a certain state of mind which we are in. Sometimes we are stressed, sometimes we are at peace, sometimes we are relaxed, sometimes we are upset, sometimes we're tired. So there are different states which we get into during the whole day, right? From the time we get up till the time we sleep. But how do you enhance those states? How do you bring those states back into a regulated where you go off the charts, where you go off a boundary, and then you need to come into an awareness, come into consciousness that I'm going off my charts and I need to come back into a regulated mode. So that is what we're going to talk about today. I would like you to start with one word. Think of one word that describes your state of mind that you have while you are at school or at your office, at work, during a completely a tight scheduled day. Think of a time when you have full schedule. Your calendar is completely booked from, every 30 minutes. You may be in the class, you may be in the office, you may be somewhere else at your work. Think of one word that describes your state of mind. And I would request you to put it into the chat box. Busy, okay. How would you describe your state of mind? Tired at work, okay. Busy, tired, tight schedule. That's the situation. Tight schedule, Mr. Jagadish, that is the situation. But what is your state of mind? Srinivasa Rao says joy. Sandra says happy, exhausted because it's a tight schedule. Okay, good day, tensed. Okay, so Kalyani has two words, busy and tensed. So we see here there's a mix of emotions and mix of words which we are having here, mix of state of minds in which each one of us gets into. Now, when we say busy, when we say tired, when we say joy, when we say happy, we also need to understand what are the underlying causes due to which we are getting into that state. The first thing is causes. That's the root cause. For example, if there's a plant, if there's a tree, a small plant needs sunlight, it needs water, soil, manure, fresh air. So these are the things which a plant needs to survive and thrive, be and healthy and happy. But if one or two of those components are not available to the plants, it might have a slow growth, it might be stunted, or it might die. So exactly taking this analogy of a plant, all the components which it needs to be into that healthy state. When we look at our state of mind during the day, what are the probable causes? What are the probable causes due to which we are in that state of mind on that particular busy day, that's tight scheduled day? As humans, we all know since the time of birth, we communicate with each other through facial expressions, through words, through body language, and the most important is breathing. Breathing at every second from the time of our birth till we leave this world, till we die. Breath is always with us. We may not have body language, we may not have facial expressions, we may not be able to speak while we are old. There may be so many changes which we experience throughout our life from the time of birth. We were not able to talk when we were kids, but we used to cry. That is the way we expressed. When there's a 80, 90-year-old, maybe they might not be able to speak so fluently and clearly due to dentures or maybe due to loss of two teeth. So there might be so many changes which each one of us goes through throughout our life. However, breath, our breathing in and out is consistent, is continuous, and is always there with us. So we connect with each other through facial expressions, words, body language, and the most important is our breath. And our breath is connected throughout our body with our heart and our mind. Heart, I would like to bring into your focus here intentionally with a very conscious intent. I am bringing these two words here to your awareness so that it would help you in your daily life, bring into that peace and calmness and regulation during a hectic schedule, and help you maintain your emotional and physical well-being. When we talk about heart, when a baby is conceived, when around 2 to 3 months, that is the first time, when 1.5 month, 2 months, when we visit the doctor, the ladies visit the doctor, and there is a ultrasound done through which we can hear the heartbeats. So that's the first organ which is developed into a human being, and heart is very, very, very powerful. Our heart has the capacity, has the electromagnetic field around us, 360 degrees around us, and our emotions are carried across through those electromagnetic fields, and it reaches to other people who are around us. Sometimes, what happens when we meet somebody who's new, for the first time, we are like, oh, meeting him was so nice, or meeting her was so nice. I felt so good. I mean, she's very friendly. I would like to meet her again. I never felt as if it was the first time. And sometimes it happens that, you're not very comfortable meeting somebody who's new. Okay, it could be any reason, probably the words which they spoke, or the body language, or whatever reasons. But sometimes there are vibes which we get when we meet others. That is exactly the electromagnetic field which we come across while meeting somebody new. And these vibes are transferred across to each one whom we meet day in and day out. Moving ahead, I'll share with you 5 topics which we need to keep in mind all the time, especially if you want to focus on our mental well-being. So the thumb is the cause. This is the cause of our state of mind. The next is coherence. Coherence is bringing your breath into a certain pattern. Sometimes when we're tired, I'm so tired. Oh gosh, oh my gosh. So this is the breath which is uneven, which is not steady, which is not stable. And that causes our emotional state and our state of mind. So bringing our breath into coherence is the second. The third is the capability to bring your breath into coherence. Finding out ways, bring yourself into regulation. The fourth is communication. Communication with required stakeholders. And the last is consistency. Whenever it comes to our awareness that we are not into a regulated state, we are going off charts, we are going into a different state of mind. So consistency, bringing back your causes, your coherence, that is your breathing, your capability to find out alternatives, communication with required stakeholders, and consistency of repeating this pattern. So when you bring the cause in control with these 4 fingers, with these 4 pillars, you will be able to maintain the state of mind that you want to be. It could be a state of joy, it could be a state of peak performance, it could be a state of happiness, it could be a state of a complete focused mind. Whatever state you need to come into, you remember these 5 key points. We see this is the wheel of life. It's the wheel of life, like a cycle has 2 wheels. So each one of us has 2 wheels. One is a personal and one is a professional. So this is the wheel of life, which you can see, and there are different areas here. 8 areas. One is health, one is family, one is family and relationship, one is leadership, next is finances, personal growth, friendship, fun, hobbies and interest, and spirituality. So once we identify these 8 areas of our life, We need to give score to each area. We need to give a number, a score from 1 to 10. We cannot give 5. So we need to give a score, a number to each area of life. We cannot give 5. 5 is like standing in the middle of the bridge, neither this side nor this side. So you cannot be in 5 all your life. It has to be either 4 or below or 6 and above. So we give score to each one and we identify the lowest 3 areas. Once we identify the lowest 3 areas, we need to work on them. Those areas might have multiple reasons due to which there is a low score. Identifying the causes for that low score, working upon those areas is what we need to do. This is for the wheel of life, which is personal. And this is wheel of life for professional. Areas which are mentioned here, providing quality feedbacks to students, administrative tasks, professional development, staff relationships, creative, innovative and creative input, involvement in school outside the classroom with, it could be peers, excellent teacher relationships. And here again, we need to give score to each of the areas. You can change any one of the area out of these 8 based on your liking, which you want to focus upon. From 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, but we cannot give 5. The reason which comes to your mind immediately when you look at that area of life and you see that, oh, I've given myself 3, or maybe I've given myself 4, or even it could be even 6, which is the lowest. So whichever area you have given the low score, when you think of that, what is the first reason that comes to your mind? Okay, this is the major reason, the most critical reason because of which I am at the score. Because identifying this, finding out the areas in which we are giving ourselves the low score and finding out at least one reason, one cause for that low score will help us come to consciousness, awareness that this needs to be worked upon and it needs effort. Low score in that area is causing stress for you. It's causing distress. You're not liking it. And when we don't like something, when we are not comfortable with something, it causes stress. It causes discomfort. And that impacts our mental well-being. Now we're going to look at a few causes which causes stress for teachers at work. Common causes for stress are workload. It could be lesson planning, grading, administrative tasks. It could be emotional demands like handling students, emotional and behavioral issues in the class. It could also be sometimes parents coming in, sharing with you or discussing with you some issues. It could be lack of support from administration and colleagues. It could be job security. It could also be work-life balance. In your professional life, the areas which you have given a low score, if the reason which you have written matches with any one of these mentioned here, kindly make a conscious attempt and invest in that area to make changes, required changes, and those required changes are from any of these 4. When you know the cause, then you need to bring your coherence, that is your breathing, your temperament, your emotions into regulation. And then you need to look at the capabilities that you need to build, what you need to do. It could be daily planning. It could be communication, which is the next one. It could be saying no to someone. It could be drawing boundaries. It could be sharing your thoughts. And the last is continue it till you go to the next level of score. If you have given 4 lesson planning, for example, you need to work on that area and see that it comes to 6 and then it goes to 7. So that continuous loop has to go on, and that can only be done when we know the root cause, when we know the cause. And that cause is how you look at the wheel of life for your personal, for your professional, find out the lowest 3 areas, find out the causes, work on those causes using these 4 pillars. How stress, how mental health of educators impacts the other stakeholders. Who are the other stakeholders? The other stakeholders are peers, our colleagues, the management, the school, the students, the parents, and your own personal family that is at home. Teachers burnout, it impacts their performance, it impacts their health, reduces their effectiveness, job satisfaction. There could be health issues like tension, insomnia, migraines, weight. The next is emotional distress. It could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be other emotional issues. And what happens is this stress manifests. You might ignore it over a period of time, but when the stress, when the discomfort compiles and compiles and compiles, it increases and manifests into something else, which could be either an emotional concern or it could be a physical concern, which you might need to address after 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years. Maybe you are at 40, 45, 50. At that age, it could be weight gain, it could be some pain, joint pain, back pain, or migraine, or it can manifest into any alternative way. How a mental health, the mental well-being of an educator impacts students is, as I mentioned about the heart and its electromagnetic frequency which it carries, your emotions, your vibes, it impacts students when you enter the class. It might also impact your tone of voice, your body language, and your tone of voice, your body language might impact students in their behavioral issues, in trust issues with their teacher, how much they listen to you, how much they agree to you, and how much they follow you. That is what it impacts. And with families in your personal life, there might be strains with your children, with your life partner, with your in laws, with other relations, with your neighbors. Somehow, the stress which comes in, of which impacts your mental well being as an educator, the stress which comes from your work can get spilled out into your home. So, looking at these two areas, making a balance to the best of your capability is what we need to be aware and mindful of. Can you list out 3 major reasons because of which you get stressed? It could be you're not getting personal time, you're not getting me time. It could be you're not getting enough sleep. Any, just randomly what comes to your mind, write 3 reasons which cause stress for you or discomfort. Once we know the reasons, we also need to understand what are the symptoms which you have identified, like you get very angry, or you talk very loud, or you just keep quiet, or you get irritated all the time when you're stressed. What exactly happens? You feel very tired sometimes. It could be because you're stressed. What are the symptoms you can identify for yourself? Write down 3 to 5, minimum 3 symptoms which you can identify for yourself when you are stressed, when you are in discomfort. So first we listed out 3 reasons, and now we are listing out 3 symptoms. For example, when I'm stressed, if someone, just comes in between, when I'm not stressed, but when I'm having multiple things going in my mind, I'm thinking a lot of things at the same time, and if someone comes to me, I might just nap at them, what is it? What is just can you just wait for some minute? So here, yeah, our voice, our tone, our facial expressions completely change when we are not in that state of mind. So identify for yourself what. If you don't share it here, that's completely fine. We are doing this for our own mental well-being. It could be physical symptoms like you feel uneasy, you feel suffocated, you feel like, for example, when children they have to appear for an exam, they feel like, there are butterflies in the stomach. So that's an anxiety. It could be not anxious. It could be a sign of anxiety. Sometimes when you just keep quiet, you don't speak anything. When you feel like sleeping all the time, it could be a sign of depression or feeling a sign of sadness. So it could be a physical symptom. It could be an emotional symptom. You might cry. It could be a behavioral symptom, like you just snap at somebody or get angry. Or it could be a cognitive thinking where you're not able to think properly. You just, or you get confused. You can't think straight when you are in discomfort. These are the four types. One is physical, emotional, behavioral, and cognitive. Which is your symptom? Identify that as well. And then what do we do when we have identified the causes, the areas of discomfort, when we have identified the causes, when we have also identified the symptoms? Now, what do we do? We identify the key people whom we can share this with. It could be from your family, it could be your life partner, it could be your friends, it could be your colleagues. Communicate openly with them and also with others, with other stakeholders. Join some support groups. It could be community service, it could be teachers groups, it could be women's group, it could be parents group. If there's some discomfort or there's some stress for you because of your kids, they may be very young or teenage, and participate in community service, participate in social activities where you can, that participating in social activities, contributing, gives us a sense of contentment. It also gives us peace. So these are the few do's which you can do when you apart from these four. These are the few tips. And the benefits of taking care of our mental well-being is when we join groups, when we identify people to talk to, when we communicate openly. You can also seek professional help from someone. Could be a coach, who could be a mentor, who could be a therapist, anyone. You can approach professional help as well. Now, the benefits of doing these is you get proper emotional support instead of feeling alone, instead of just keeping things within your own mind and trying to find out the solutions by yourself. Getting help from someone close or professional does give you an emotional support. You can get some tips which you can actually implement in your life. You can get advice from a professional who is experienced, and it would overall help you in your mental well-being. I practice heart math breathing. I'll give you instructions on how you need to do this breathing. So, keeping your hand on your heart, being completely relaxed with your hands, your shoulders, your toes, your neck, your cheeks, your stomach, your back, your legs, your feet, each and every part of your body. Just let it be relaxed, completely relaxed. And with your hand on your heart, we're going to do a breathing technique. It's called heart mat breathing technique. And the technique is, let me imagine our focus is completely on the tip of our nose. And we take a breath in and breath out. When we take a breath in and out, we close our eyes and imagine that the breath is passing through this heart center in slowly up belly, and then again passing out. The breath is coming out through the heart center. The focus is on the heart center here. If you wish, you can keep both your hands, you can keep one hand, or you can sit relaxed.
It was really good of you. I'd seen ma'am many a times, but I didn't knew the exact nature. But from today's session, I came to know she's very grounded. She has a profound knowledge. Really happy to have such a guest speaker on this platform of sharEvery. She is very passionate about her topic. Will give more details of whatever has happened in today's session. So I'd like to call upon beautiful coach Shrirupka Wagwe ma'am, all of you to bring your hands together to invite Coach Shrirupa ma'am to give her review on today's session.
Thank you so much, Coach Sandra ma'am, for such a beautiful introduction of mine. Thank you so much. Coming to the session for Coach BINA, it was indeed a mindfulness session. I thoroughly enjoyed your session, and especially I second with Coach Sandra that what she have mentioned. It was required that heartman technique, breathing technique. It actually was required, and eventually we need to practice this thing every day whenever we have time. Because I was realizing that this breathing technique was settling my nerve somehow, and I was cooling down, and cooling down. So thank you so much. Coming to the review point, I have shortlisted few points which I want to go through once again for the betterment of our audience. People who practice mindfulness say it is fundamentally changes how they experience life. We connect with each other through body language, facial expressions, words, and especially through our breath. How our energy can be sensed and felt. The best way to connect with ourselves is our breath. Breathing your heart, emotions, and your regulation into a balanced state. Coach Bina have mentioned about the 5 states of mind: pause, coherence, capability, communication, consistency. Other way around, she has mentioned about the wheel of life, personal as well as professional. Taking consideration into personal, the will consists of spirituality, health and well-being, family, public partners, hobbies, and personal growth. Coach Bina revealed that mindfulness may reduce anxiety and depression, boost your immune system, help you manage pain, allow you to unhook from unhealthy habits and addiction, smooth insomnia, reduce high blood pressure, and even change the structure and function of your brain in a positive way. She mentioned the difference between mental health and mental well-being, impact of poor mental health on ourselves as well as our students who are working professional in the schools and their families. She has stressed down the reasons of getting stressed. Firstly, physical, secondly, emotional, thirdly, behavioral, and lastly, the cognitive one. When we intentionally place our internal focus of attention in mindfulness practice, we induce a unique state of brain activation during the practice. Taking this in consideration, once again, thank you so much, Coach Bina, for such mindfulness session. You have a profound knowledge about what you are doing, and I feel lucky that I got the chance to be the reviewer of today's session. And over to you, Coach Sandra.
Thank you, Shrirupa ma'am, for such beautiful review.